Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I hope you are having a fantastic day. In this video, I want to share a post-burn review of Bath & Body Works Farmhouse Pumpkin and Spice. Recently picked this up when there was a fairly decent sale in store and I had a little coupon action going on. This was not originally on my radar, and admittedly, first I picked it up because of the label, because this label, so beautiful. Honestly, the label for this one and the Honeycrisp Harvest, so beautiful, and honestly probably two of the prettiest fall labels that I've ever seen Bath & Body Works do. So that was what originally attracted me to this one. And then as soon as I stuck my nose in it, I was like, oh, that's patchouli. That is patchouli. And you know what? I liked the patchouli, even though this is not really normally the type of patchouli that I gravitate towards. And I have to say, now that I've burned this one for a little while here, I really like this particular scent. It's not your typical sweet fall gourmand pumpkin. This is quite a bit different from that. But I think that even if you normally gravitate towards more of like the gourmands, that this one might be worth considering. I think it's kind of special, and it's one that I will certainly be repurchasing in the future. So we're gonna go ahead and dig into this one. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. I'm very curious if you also were kind of maybe pleasantly surprised by this one. So let's go ahead and dig in. So Bath & Body Works describes this as a picturesque day in the fall countryside. All right, the notes are heirloom pumpkin, patchouli, and fall spices. The pumpkin note here is a little bit different than, I would say, the usual or like most used type of pumpkin note. This is almost like an unsweetened heirloom pumpkin. There's really not a lot of sweetness in this particular fragrance, and if you, for example, cannot stick your nose into this, if you are ordering it online, please know that this one in no way smells anything like the pumpkin cupcake or some of the other sweeter pumpkin scents that Bath & Body Works typically releases this time of year. This pumpkin is more like you are cutting into a pumpkin, like you're getting ready to carve it, but it's like a deeper, almost like earthier type of pumpkin note. No real sweetness here at all. So if you normally only like sweeter pumpkin scents, skip it. I think this one's gonna turn you off. I like this because it is so different. It's not the usual, and it is really pleasant and well done. And I think with the specific patchouli note that they used here, which is interestingly not entirely an earthy patchouli, and also at the same time not an entirely like perfumey patchouli note, it's really kind of in the middle there between those two. Normally I don't like a earthy patchouli at all. If it smells like that dirty hippie patchouli, or like you just dug like a hole in the dirt and maybe stuck your nose in there, like that is the type of patchouli that just really isn't my thing at all. But if we are talking about a really perfumey patchouli, something that is a little bit more sophisticated smelling, there's just a very distinct difference between earthy patchouli and perfumey patchouli, right? And this one here is, like I said, in this interesting like middle ground where you get a little bit of that earthiness, not a ton, because I would have returned it. But you also don't get an entirely perfumey experience either. It's just a very unique take on patchouli, and it just works with that heirloom pumpkin note. I think if the pumpkin had sweetness to it, I just do not think that this particular patchouli note would work at all. I don't think a perfumey or much earthier patchouli would work either. So the fact that there is no real sweetness to this fragrance at all, I think is really what makes this patchouli work in this particular fragrance. The spices that I smell here are definitely, I would call them fairly potent. There is a strong cinnamon bark note in here. It's not an outright like spicy red hot cinnamon, but it's also not a super soft like bakery Ceylon cinnamon note either. So it really is more of like a cinnamon bark. I do smell a little bit of clove in here, and I feel like I also smell a little bit of like a creamy cardamom type note. But again, nothing sweet or anything like that. There's no vanilla in here. It's really kind of a slightly earthier fall pumpkin spice type scent. Is really unique. I don't think that I've had a pumpkin quite like this yet, but I'm really glad I decided to go ahead and give it a try because it has been really enjoyable. This is one that I think is perfect for an evening burn. That little bit of like almost like earthiness gives this like a it just gives it like a little bit more of like an evening type of vibe, like a cold, rainy, dark evening. That is when I think this particular fragrance really shines. We were lucky enough to have some rain over the weekend here in Oregon, and this was just so lovely to have burning while listening to the rain coming down. It just really made me feel like fall is here, and I am so ready for it, you guys. So this fragrance, even though it's not in my usual like fall pumpkin spice extravaganza wheelhouse, I really like it, and I do intend on repurchasing this one just based off the fragrance alone. The strength and the throw. This has been a really good performer, you guys, honestly. I would say the strength of this is darn near an 8. It's actually stronger than I would say some of the other candles that I recently purchased as well. I've been getting a pretty solid 7 in terms of strength from most of my Bath & Body Works candles lately. But this one is definitely a little bit amped up from that even. The throw is also, I would say, almost an 8. This one fills the bulk of the downstairs of my house. It has a really nice, like, potent oomph to it. It's one where you definitely want to be a little bit more mindful about what you're burning alongside. I've been burning some of the fall Kringle Reserve candles because I am going to be posting some post-burn reviews of those here tomorrow. So I've been burning this alongside some of those fragrances. And while there are a couple of sweet scents in that lineup, this one has gone really well with some of the other fragrances that don't have a lot of sweetness to them from that launch that is just about to happen here. So it's a really lovely scent, but you're gonna have to be somewhat mindful about what you're pairing it with because, like I said, it's got a really good strength and throw. Now, the overall burn quality. Admittedly, I'm not at the halfway point with this one, but I feel like I know what it's gonna do. This particular candle does have that thicker tree stump-like wick. And that one usually peters out on me at the halfway point. I wish it didn't, but it's usually a thing. Sometimes, rarely, sometimes I can continue to burn this candle all the way down, but for the most part, these wicks tend to peter out on me at the halfway point. I don't return my Bath & Body Works candles when that happens because I am someone who likes to put my candles into my candle crocks if they don't behave. One, I actually feel like I get a longer home fragrance experience by melting my candles versus burning them. These Bath & Body Works candles burn pretty hot and pretty fast these days. I mean, I can easily get through a Bath & Body Works candle in less than a week if I am not working as much during a particular week. If I'm lighting it every single day for several hours, it can be gone in a week. So yeah, anyway, for what it's worth, the burn quality so far has been fine, but I do expect, just based off of these wicks, that probably when I reach this point right about here, that this is gonna go in the candle crock. I don't mind that. I would love to have this as a background fragrance, especially in the upstairs of the house. So yeah, we will move it there if and when the time comes, probably when the time comes. But as of right now, she's still doing great. So let's take a look at the, sorry, I have to get this, I'm sitting on a chair here that I have to push back. Let's take a look at the overhead view. This has now been lit for a full hour. So you can see that I don't even have like a super deep wax pool quite yet. This wax pool gets deep, like I'm talking like a solid inch plus. Like I said, these particular wicks tend to burn pretty hot. So yeah, definitely gonna get a deeper wax pool going here. You can already see some carbon balls start, or mushroom tops, if you will, starting to form on the top there. So I'm gonna let this go for probably 3.5, 4 hours at the most, and then extinguish it. And we'll light it again tomorrow at that point. But so far, so good with this one. I would love to know what you guys think about this one. I feel like a lot of people who follow me tend to prefer more gourmands. And this is not like a typical gourmand pumpkin fragrance. So I'm just really curious if any of you have picked this one up and what you think about it. The reviews on the website are really good for this one. But there is a warning about the patchouli. So if you're just not a patchouli person in general, I would skip it. But yeah, even though this has a little tiny bit of earthiness to it, I really like it. So I think it's worth taking a chance. Also, it's Bath & Body Works, so you can go smell it in store. If it's a major turnoff, obviously, you know, don't grab it. And if you're ordering online, I don't know. I feel like that's a different story. Just know that you're gonna have to be okay with the patchouli note on this one if you are planning on ordering it without knowing what it smells like first. But yeah, I like it. If we typically tend to like a lot of the same things, then you might enjoy this one as well. It is a little bit different, but it is lovely. So anyway, let me know what you think about this one in the comments down below. I really appreciate you guys being here. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.